Hello friends. Yes, India have won the Perth Test match in 4 days. What a remarkable victory it was, winning by 295 runs and taking a 1-0 lead in this Border-Gavaskar Trophy 2024-25. It was not an easy victory. India did remarkably well and was led brilliantly by the stand-in captain Jasprit Bumrah, who was taking wickets whenever India required them. And today's dismissal of Travis Head, who was looking good for a century with the ball that was described as one of the best deliveries that he has ever bowled, just outside the off stump, taking the outside edge, and to the wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant to give India a vital breakthrough at that particular point when Travis Head, certainly he was not going to win it for Australia, but he was delaying the inevitable. That's Jasprit Bumrah. 3 wickets in the second innings to go with his 5 in the first, and a match haul of 8 wickets for 72 runs. Was deservingly the man of the match. Who can forget the spell he bowled on the opening day after India were dismissed for a cheap 150 runs on the opening day after electing to bat and not posting enough runs? Jasprit Bumrah did not give up. His team did not give up. Leading in the absence of Rohit Sharma, who has since joined the team on Sunday, which was the third day of the Perth Test match. There was no premium bowlers. Of course, you can't have both Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja in a test in Australia, except if it is a Sydney Test match. There was no Ashwin, no Jadeja. There was no Shubman Gill, the solid number 3 batsman who has made that position his own in the last year or so. India gave 2 players their first test caps, Harshit Rana and Nitish Kumar Reddy. Devdutt Padikkal, batting in the absence of Shubman Gill, was playing only his second test match. Washington Sundar was picked ahead of Ashwin and even Jadeja. Dhruv Jurel was playing only in his 4th test match. He was not in the 11 in the previous series against New Zealand. He was making a comeback into the 11. So with all these in mind, a relatively inexperienced side, KL Rahul was having doubts about his own performances. He was made to open, pushed up the order from his number 6 position, and he did not disappoint. He was getting into form in the first innings, given dubiously out by the third umpire, and batted very well, brilliantly, to share 200 runs with opener Yashasvi Jaiswal. Virat Kohli was one who was finding runs difficult to come by in the last year or so. He had only 1 test 50 in 15 test innings before he scored that remarkable 100 not out yesterday in the second innings. He had failed in the first innings, gone for a single digit score, and there were doubts about his own form, but he proved everyone wrong that Virat Kohli is not a finished commodity yet. In these circumstances, going into Australia with the first ever whitewash on Indian soil, crushed by New Zealand of all the teams, 3-0 in India, India has done remarkably well to stage one of the greatest comeback victories in India's Test history. A victory at the Perth Stadium, in which Australia have been invincible. All the 4 test matches prior to this, Australia have won by big margins, and here they suffered their first defeat at this Perth Stadium, not far away from the WACA, the Western Australian Cricket Association ground, which was hosting the test matches ever since the 1970s till 2018, when India played the inaugural test at this new venue. So the first test defeat Australia has suffered at this particular venue where they have dominated all along. This also shows that India are not somebody to be taken light. Jasprit Bumrah leading only in his second test match, and the first did not go well in the fifth test of that unfinished series in England in 2021-22, where he led in the absence of Rohit Sharma, who had by then was named the full-time test captain. India suffered a loss in that, and the series then in England was drawn 2-2. So in keeping all this in mind, Jasprit Bumrah, you cannot praise him enough. He has delivered even as the senior bowler playing under Virat Kohli or under Rohit Sharma. He has delivered whenever the chips were down, whenever India needed a breakthrough. And here, with the extra responsibility of being a captain, Jasprit Bumrah could not have done any better. 5 wickets in the first innings, encouraging a debutant like Harshit Rana to bowl well. He did justify his selection, picked up 3 wickets in the first innings. Bumrah encouraged Washington Sundar ahead of Ashwin and Jadeja, and Sundar did not disappoint. Sundar did well with the bat in the second innings, giving Virat Kohli a solid stand, the stand worth 89 for the 6th wicket. And Washington Sundar took 2 wickets in the Australian second innings, including one that clean bowled his opposite number, the great Nathan Lyon, who has 500 plus wickets in his bag. So that's Washington Sundar, that's the Indian team, a remarkable victory. No one would have even expected when India were bowled out for 150, but then Jasprit Bumrah just led from the front, and he was given able support by his fellow player members, Mohammad Siraj, the other bowlers, and one cannot discount the contribution of other debutant Nitish Ring when the chips were down. India struggling very badly in the first innings, top scoring with 41 and scoring a crucial quick 38 in the second innings, and that allowed Virat Kohli to step on the accelerator and reach his 30th century yesterday in a fantastic fashion. So they also shared a very good 77 run partnership in quick time, and that allowed Bumrah to declare the Indian second innings. And Bumrah struck twice in those last 20-25 minutes when Australia were made to play in their second innings, removing the debutant opener Nathan McSweeney in his first over, and also trapping Marnus Labuschagne, who has been struggling for form which in what was the last delivery of the third day's play. And today, Jasprit Bumrah, just when India needed a breakthrough to remove the dangerous looking Travis Head, who was scoring freely and scoring in the manner that he is known for, he removed Travis Head, caught behind with a beauty. So India go into the second test, which is in Adelaide, a day-night game to be played from December 6th, with their not only their heads held high, but with confidence that they can go on to win the series. So much was spoken about India finding it difficult to now qualify for the World Test Championship final. They had to win 4 tests of the 5 tests in this series. They have made a brilliant start, winning the first test in Perth by 295 runs, bowling out Australia for 238 in their second innings, and a good start will only help India go into not only the Adelaide Test but also the rest of the series with a right frame of mind, with the confidence. And They are boosted by the return of their regular captain Rohit Sharma. Jasprit Bumrah hands over the team to Rohit Sharma, and it is up to Rohit Sharma to build on this victory and take the team further ahead. It is not going to be easy. Australia have been struggling with results of late. Their key players have been not scoring enough runs like they have been known to. Steve Smith, of all the players, 32 test centuries to his name. He, along with England's Joe Root, India's Virat Kohli, and New Zealand's Kane Williamson, are spoken of as the top 4 batsmen of the modern era. Steve Smith has been struggling of late, he has gone over 23 test innings without a test 100. So that puts pressure on him. And today he struggled like he was nowhere in the test match. And his dismissal, courtesy Mohammad Siraj, who picked up his 3rd wicket of that of Smith with the ball that kept straight and took the edge to wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant, who took it diving to his right. So that continued his struggle for scores, and there are talks among the Australian cricketing circles that Steve Smith and the out-of-form Marnus Labuschagne may be not finding their place in the 11 for the next test match. But then that is the selectors' headache, and that is Australia's headache. We have to rejoice this India's remarkable win, one of the greatest comeback victories in Indian cricketing history. Greatest comeback not only in terms of this test match where they were 150 all out in the first innings and bounced back really hard to take that crucial 46-run first innings lead. 46 runs may not be big, but in the context of the test match, it was worth more than it actually was. And the Indian batsmen, led by the young opener Yashasvi Jaiswal, scoring a brilliant 161. He also made a remarkable comeback in the sense that he was out for 0 in the first innings and to score 161 and become one of the very few, or become only the 3rd Indian player to score a test 100 on his first test match in Australia. That speaks volumes of this young man's, not just his batting skills, his temperament, his attitude towards the game, and his focus and the desire to excel in the highest form of cricket. And you cannot keep Virat Kohli away. A test century which was long missing, and he just loves batting in Australia, and at the stadium in which on his previous visit in 2018 he scored 100. It just shows how much he relishes batting on those conditions. Well, India easily in front. Jasprit Bumrah, wonderful captaincy, wonderful bowling, and an overall brilliant teamwork by everyone concerned. We just have to rejoice, celebrate this victory, and go into the next test match, start from scratch and not be complacent. Perhaps Australia may have been complacent after dismissing India for 150, and that was why they were probably out for 104. Of course, India bowled brilliantly well, but India has to not be complacent. I know they will not be complacent, and they have the enough good support staff to keep them at the ground level and prepare well for the day-night test match, which is a 2-day affair starting on November 30th in Canberra. So it's now over to the pink ball format and the preparation for Adelaide, where India in the last visit had that miserable defeat, 36 all out, but then it was after that 36 all out and that defeat that they went on to bounce back and post a remarkable series victory, retaining the Border-Gavaskar Trophy in Australia. So a good start India have made to this series, and let's hope that they continue on this form. Well done Jasprit Bumrah, well done Team India, and until next time, it's time to say goodbye and do celebrate this. It's a fantastic victory for Indian cricket.